In a place called Putrajaya, which is one of the cities in Malaysia. It's just outside of Kuala Lumpur, and I attended there a conference on. Well, there are three conferences that were rolled into one. One was a conference which was an international conference on the Blue Ocean strategy, which I'll explain to you just now a little bit of that. Then there was the biannual conference of the Commonwealth Association of Public Administration Management. And thirdly, there was the Ministers of Public Service in the Commonwealth, a meeting of those ministers. So there were three sets of meetings. Some of them were going on at the same time. So you had to choose which of the conferences you will attend at whatever time. But the events were hosted by Malaysia. The Prime Minister of Malaysia was, I think, a very gracious host. The Commonwealth Secretary General herself was there throughout the conference and gave guidance to the countries and the ministers who were there participating in all of these matters. The National Blue Ocean Strategy Conference was about the way in which Malaysia was using innovation to transform the country from what they called the middle income trap to a first world status by 2020. So they had a direct and a specific roadmap on how they will achieve first world status within a certain time. And this was the strategy that they developed. It is premised on four things. One, low cost. Two, rapid execution. Three, high impact. And four, happiness of the people. Four strategies. And all of them were interlinked. And you had an explanation. Because, for example, the point that was made is that in government agencies, you have ministries and you have departments. And sometimes you have one or two ministries doing the same thing. So what they discovered was that they can break down what they call silos, because like some government ministries and agencies operated in silos, like this is my area and I'm in charge of this and nobody must come into that, right? But what they found was that they could have greater interoperability and greater interagency cooperation when you sort of break down these barriers. The whole idea was to provide an efficient public service to the people, and that the public service was accessible to the people, and that they were thinking on a daily basis on how you can innovate, how you can change, how you can create situations that deliver public service to the people on a better in a better way. So as I said, they said it had to be low cost, which is suiting us because that is really what we try to do, because we're not a rich country. High impact, so it was impact people's lives in a direct way. So under that category, what they did, they discovered that in some rural communities and in some of their regions, that government services were scattered. You had a Ministry of Health there, Ministry of Education there, Ministry of Agriculture, all over. So what they decided to do was to put all of these services in one place. Now they call them regional centers of government. And what they did was to, because of the collaboration, you didn't have a little bit of staff there, a little staff there, a little staff there. They came together. And so what they were able to do was to provide a 24-hour service 7 days a week, without actually increasing the amount of government workers doing that, and without increasing the salaries, because you basically collapse these little silos into which people were working and you brought them into one place. And so the public will serve better, because you could have actually gone home from work in the night and go into a government office and get service. You get a passport application. In fact, they were saying now that you could have gotten a birth certificate in 1 hour, because everything is computer linked. And so you walk in there, you get an application for a birth certificate, the application for a passport, and all these things in one building. And that's the kind of thing that we're looking at right now. As you know, in some of our ministerial outreaches, basically what we do, we take the government to the people, but that is a sort of a temporary arrangement which we have. They have it now on a permanent basis. Recently, you would have heard Minister of Citizenship announce that we were taking passport offices to Linden and to Corriverton, right? So that you can actually go in there and make an application for a passport, and you get it within a certain number of days. But what it is that they were doing is that the documents which you require to get a passport, you could get it in the same office. Birth certificates, ID card, and all of that, one building. So that is one of the things they actually took us to see in operation.